If you're tired of the standard business and marketing fundamentals, frameworks, and funnels, you need a little mischief. Get ready to turn up the volume on the CEO Mischief Maker podcast, where you access conversations with seasoned business owners who have smashed through mindset barriers, innovated the standard boring business and marketing playbooks, and executed future-paced strategies with bleeding-edge tools and tactics to micro-fail their way into massive success and growth. We are Mindset Impact Strategic Catalysts helping innovative entrepreneurs focus. We are CEO Mischief Makers. Ready to make a little mischief? Hey, CEO Mischief Makers, MKJ here, and this amazingly brilliant, beautiful woman, if you're watching the video, and if you're not, you need to go watch the video. If you're listening, Kathryn Hite is joining me today. Kathryn, how you doing?
Doing great. I'm so excited to be here with you and to have this conversation.
I can't wait.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Oh my gosh, I had so much fun in Costa Rica when I first met you, and we just get to chat about some really cool stuff. So start off by just kind of taking us through who you are and what you do first.
Yeah. So my name is Kathryn Hite, and I am focused on creating stability purpose through digital marketing. So we have a couple of things going on with that. My husband and I guess we're a team, and we just honestly find a lot of joy in creating impact and sharing that with everybody. And we come from an abundance mindset. And so we have a digital marketing agency. We're a franchise model. So we believe that together we can do more. And that's why we actually franchise. And then we have a couple of things like our inner circle, and then also the Commitment Summit, which is and the reason why we met.
Yes, absolutely. So you talked about an abundance mindset, and I think many people might have heard that term before, but may not really recognize what it means. So let's kind of dive into that a little bit. I mean, you have an incredible story, your journey, you and JC and your two beautiful children, and take me through what do you think is the biggest mindset shift you had to make that either put you on the path to where you are now or actually created what you have now? I mean, is it a mindset shift that started you on this path, or is it a mindset shift that you finally realized and allowed you to appreciate and create this abundance and this success? What is it?
I was actually talking about this same thing with a good friend of mine, because my background's a little bit different to just being a Latina, right? I was actually born in Nicaragua, and then I went into the US, and then I got myself into this whole digital marketing industry. Something that I think has been essential for me to change personally has been that exact same thing of we can work together and do amazing things. And I don't have to be the best at everything in order to grow. Right. And so I think we make that mistake a lot of the times where we think that it's up to us to be able to be the full spearhead person that is just leading everything. And if I don't do it, then nobody else can do it. And the company is me. And that's something that we actually changed, in 2020. That's when we shifted to the franchise, even though we were doing white label before with Hite. That change of hey, there's other amazing agency owners out there that want to do and accomplish the same thing, that want to impact their communities in different ways. And we can work together and create an even better agency because of that. And then even now in my day-to-day of working with other agency owners in our mastermind and getting to connect with them, there's always something that I learn from an interaction, from being in that room with other people. And before I used to be part of those people that we used to why would you pay to be in a mastermind? Why would you pay to be in a room with your competitors? Even those words of that's your competition. You shouldn't be sharing what you're doing. Now, after years of being in there, I've realized how crazy that was, first off, and then also how impactful we can be by doing something together and learning from each other.
Oh my gosh, yes. So what I hear you saying is that before you used to be what I called, and I was this myself, a superhero solo entrepreneur.
Yes.
I'm solo. I do it all myself. I have to keep
Well,
it here. I can't really share it. It's all just me.
yeah. And honestly, I will give this to JC. He has always been the type of person like, no, like we can grow. And I was the one that before I used to have my Instagram private and I was like, I don't want people to know what we're doing. I don't want to see, like, what if like you share that and then they do it, like I used to have like such a bad, it's kind of like funny to like think about me saying those stuff now because I'm complete opposite. So I do believe people can change.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of crazy to think like, oh, like I'm not inventing anything new. In fact, I'm just getting better by sharing that idea and seeing how other people react to it. Is that a idea worth of something? And if somebody's like, yeah, that's an amazing idea, they're going to implement it in a different way. And so it's beautiful to see that collaboration happening, even if you're not even in a partnership.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so that take me through that though. Because
Yeah,
a big shift. And I
that
agree
it.
with you. I was in the exact same place. And I came from corporate, right? I came from a company and I actually came from a very competitive type of company. It was in staffing. So we were
Oh
trying
wow.
to find jobs for people. So you
Yeah.
never talked. I mean, if when I left that company, I was walked out on the day that I gave my notice. There is no giving notice.
Oh
If you
wow.
say I'm done, they walk you to your desk, you take your stuff and you leave. You don't wait 2 weeks, you don't give 2 week notice. You know that
Wow.
when you say I'm leaving, you're
That's
done.
it. That's it.
And
Yeah.
it's because of that. It's because of that competition. And so there
Wow.
has to be a major mindset shift to go from, "Oh, no, it's all mine. You can't hear, you can't see," to I don't care. I'm going to share because I know there is no way you can do what I'm doing just like me. So
Yeah.
what was that shift? What made that? You said you give credit to JC, but you still
I
had to make that
honestly,
mindset shift.
I honestly, yeah, I give him credit because he was the one that would push me and say like, "That's stupid, Karen." Like that's like he would be like super front, like, "Okay, that makes no sense. Like we know like what we're doing here, it's like completely different." At the end of the day, what I've realized is that people buy from people, and that the unique are like I needed to find my unique selling point, and I didn't know that. That's why I was so lost in thinking that whatever tactics or SOPs or things that I had where like that was what made me good, or that made me valuable. And at the end of the day, it's not that, it's me and it's the people that I work with. And so having that understanding of like, okay, your values are really what's going to take you to the next level, not, like a documentation that you did in the diagram flow. That's not the formula for success. Once I figured that out, and I started sharing my stuff, the stuff that we were doing. And I would also see that people were not implementing it. And so that was to me was crazy. We actually used to implement a CRM and we would share like the exact steps that we follow. And I would reach out to them like, 3 months later and then, oh, like they haven't done much with it. And so once you realize that, and I think you have a clear understanding of where you're shining the most, I think that's what's going to allow you to have that self-confidence to also put yourself in that room and be even upfront about like, hey, I want to share. I want to give you everything I have, which is when we started our inner circle. So yeah, it was pretty cool. I guess transition thinking about it right now.
Wow. So that's amazing. So now, not only did you have that mindset shift and open up, I mean, it really does. It feels so much like an opening, doesn't it? Because
Yeah. Yeah.
how we were doing it before was totally closed and scary, and you're going to steal this, and
Yeah.
it's yuck. It's just yuck.
Yeah.
And so it opens up. And so not only are you opening that up for yourself, but now you're helping other people do the same, right?
Yeah. And it's one of the things actually when anybody joins our mastermind, we created this not for us to like just share, but to learn. And so like what we're doing is just we're putting everybody together there and hey, everybody pitches in, and all of this that we're putting together is going to like getting ourselves in the best rooms, getting the best speakers, getting the best experiences as well for us to grow. And so anytime that I talk to people wanting to join that, the first thing that I tell them is I need you to be active. I need to be of an open mentality. I want when we go into that group chat and somebody's asking for a contract, I want like everybody to share their contracts, and that's what happens. And so I think it's very important for me to be upfront about that. So that way they know that this is not somewhere where you're just going to take, like I want you to give. And actually by giving, you get the most. I feel like, I've just realized that as been in business and just connecting with people.
Yeah, it is. I agree 100%. When we give, we actually receive way more than just waiting to receive, or asking to receive. When
Mhm.
when we give, we receive so much more than just when we ask for something.
Yeah.
It really is that way. I agree. So, wow. And so tell me what kind of a time frame did that happen, that shift in mindset? How long did that take for that to all of a sudden click?
I think it was actually around a couple of months, 3 months probably, when I actually transitioned from implementing Salesforce. I used to do that. I was a project manager and I was Salesforce certified. And then I transitioned to like being on the digital side and being more involved with the agency. And so in that process, I started to talking to agency owners, and I had these conversations. They would have a need, and I knew that we had that, and so I would be like, oh, I will question if I should give that. And so I had conversations, with JC, and that's where this, I think, growth happened, where, he was like, share it, like help out. Like, it doesn't matter like that we did that, it's totally fine. And so, and when I did share the stuff, it was really cool to see first of the reaction of people that didn't expect things to, like be shared like that, especially when it comes to operations. And it's just an amazing feeling. Now, funny enough, last week we just had 6 agency owners come to our office in Nicaragua. We did like this intensive. It was the first time that we were doing it. And we literally like just gave them everything, like everything that they questions that they had, we just like had them here with our team. And so that was an amazing thing to like at the end of the 2 days, we obviously like record it, like just like their feedback and their feelings, and we ask them questions. And the one thing that they continue to post about, funny enough, is how impressed they were with the openness of like, okay, they were really just giving us as much information as possible. Like anything that we had questions on, they were answering. And so I guess it's not normal. And I would invite other people, if you're listening to this, do it. Like you never know what you're going to get in terms of a connection, or just, like just the beauty of like feeling that you are helping another human being, not feel stuck. I mean, that happens to so many of us. And there's somebody out there that will help you. And so it's good. Good stuff to
Yeah.
do, I think.
It is. And I think you also, one of the things you just mentioned is that so many times you would give all of this, you would go ahead and open up, and then later you would realize, or when you asked or followed up, the person that you talked to hadn't really done anything with that. And so
Yeah.
I think, especially in a situation where you had all those agency owners there and you gave them everything. Number
Yeah.
one, I can imagine that they were overwhelmed with all of the information that you shared, and information is pretty easy to share.
Yeah.
The mindset to actually implement even just one of those pieces is really where the value is.
Yeah.
That's really the information. I can go onto YouTube any day of the week and find out any of these operational materials that you might share, whether it's
Yes.
SOPs, whether it's Salesforce, whether it's, any SEO, anything. I can go learn the information anywhere.
Yeah.
But to help me figure out how I have to approach that particular system or skill in order to
Yeah.
actually implement it, that's a whole different thing. So how do
Yeah.
you help them with that? How do you help people understand
So
the mindset that they have to implement what you share?
So I think in the beginning, I used to be like that. I was like, okay, here you go, like all this stuff. And now I try to question people. Like I try to do more of like a consultation, I guess, if that may, and just ask. I want to know if I'm gonna give you a suggestion and advice. I take the time to actually get to know you and understand what your goals are. Is something that I've noticed that there's a lot of shiny objects. And today you might tell me that this is what you need, but in reality you might need something else. So like I've found that it has been more impactful to really get to know people, and I enjoy actually like just serving. And so getting to know, okay, what are really your goals, and questioning them on those things, I think just allows to have a deeper conversation. And that's what people need at the end of the day, not the SOP. They need to be able to have that discernment of like, is this really where I need to go? And that's actually something that we did this last week, like I remember we had a chat with somebody that said, I was asking them like, okay, now at the end of this 2 days, like, so what are the tasks? Let's do a brain dump, and let's get the task that we are going to have to focus on as you go back. And he was like, okay, I need to hire this and this and this and this. And I was like, wait. Why would we hire somebody or a couple of people that he had mentioned when the problem is lead source, when the problem is lead acquisition? Like, that is really what we need to do. We don't need to like spend more time looking at, job descriptions and all this stuff. We need to focus on like, how do we get those leads in? And so like, those that are the tasks that we need to like hone in and have as priority. And so that is, I think, the main difference that I've done in sharing what we're doing. And we're just, testing things out and just seeing what works and what doesn't for people, and supporting them as much as we can. Some people, they really just need that SOP. And so I'm happy to give them, and some people just need a deeper conversation.
Okay, hold on. If your mindset was shifted, you were inspired to innovate, and you were spurred into action, don't just move on with your day. Focus, my friend, and take a few minutes to visit CEOmischiefmaker.com to learn more about the value that was shared with you today. Please act now and create some CEO mischief of your own.